Yesterday was not nearly as productive as I hoped it would be, but I have all the electrical done with the exception of a couple outlets. They're by the door. I have actually ran out of electrical wire, so hence I called it an early night. Yeah, if you call midnight an early night. But I got a babysitter today, so not dealing with babies hopefully at all today is my goal. So we did breakfast, and then I pretty much just walked out the door. I've been kind of fighting some camera issues, so I kind of didn't get a lot on film last night, didn't realize it, but such is life. And I've been fighting the issues today too, so hence the reason the dog door is installed, but I have no footage of it. So let's talk about this real quick. So this is the Armor Flex dog door. Not a promotional thing, not an advertisement thing, not sponsored by them at all. So I have no sponsorships, this is just my opinion of them. It seems like a pretty great door. My wife bought it. I don't remember how much she spent on it, but it was stupid a lot. But hopefully it's worth it. So it has this high-tech pet security door. High-tech my butt, you can break this with a hammer. But it'll keep the dogs and coons from coming and going if you want to close them up. So definitely handy, but a dog should be able to destroy this if they're determined enough. I would imagine somebody could still break through it, so not really a security feature, but it'll slow somebody down. What I do like about it though is it's magnetized. So it's a thick plastic, I don't know, that's 3/4 of an inch thick. It's like tubes, so I'm guessing there's air inside here. But every one of these little hinges has a tiny little magnet on the side of it. And then there's also a weather stripping all the way around, which is just felt. But what's nice is doing new construction. It's very simple to install it. All I did was measure between my joists and just realistically, these boards are only held in with a screw at every joint. So 1, 2, 3 screws. That's all I put in. I didn't secure it up too tight. Yeah, so I cut a board to fit in between my joists, top and bottom. And then all I had to do actually is then measure from the bottom of the door to the top of the door on the inside. So this measurement right here. And then that established this. Put this at 6 inches, and what the instructions say is you're supposed to measure from the top of your dog's shoulders and then add 4 inches to that to establish your height, with a minimum of 3 inches height down here. So I picked Piper. She's one of the medium-sized dogs. This is going to basically be her dog door. You know, Rolo, he's significantly bigger, but if he wants in, he can find his own way and he can make it work. It also, you buy this separately, but this is an aluminum kit. It's a sleeve, so it'll actually go around, it'll actually go from the outside in, so it creates a much more cleaner opening. I also, on this exact same spot on the other side of the building, I framed out for another one of these doors. I'm going to put insulation in it, but I'm just gonna have it loose inside there. So my theory is if we ever wanna have 2 dog runs, we can come in at a later date and put a middle divider down here and go ahead and find that hole and cut it out. It's exact same spot, so it should be very easy. Just measure off that wall, the same distance, come in here with a saw and just cut a nice little X and then go around and just cut it out both inside and out. So it's kind of the thing with doing something like this or just new construction in general is you want to think long term. What are potential uses for this space versus cut your hole and then try to slide studs into place and then screw up your insulation. So that's kind of where we're at. I hear this rumor that my friend from Oklahoma is going to be coming up with his 2 boys and they're going to be here tomorrow night. So that should make things go a lot faster. So yeah, I guess I will stop chitty chatting and change my shirt and start putting in insulation. I hate fiberglass insulation. Hate it with a passion. And I think that's why my friend is dragging his feet on coming up here. First, every time I talk to him the last couple of days, first question he asks me is, "Did you got your insulation done?" No. So, all right, well, it'll be a couple more days till I get up there. I think he's waiting for the fiberglass insulation to be done before he comes up, so, which is fine. I don't blame him for that. I hate insulation. It sucks. It's not fun, but it helps. It helps a lot.
Again, I just take, you can either measure it out or whatever, but if you will start your cut and keep things flat along the back right there, get that started, you can just zip that off. You realize how freaking far you have come.
Have you watched my first video? Oh my god, it sucks.
But I mean from 8th grade.
Oh
so
god,
this guy walked into my class and goes, "I ain't learning nothing about computers."
I didn't say that.
No, but it might as well have been, because that was the effect.
I literally passed his computer class because I was building your house. I know that for a fact. I think I got a B in computer science. I didn't ace it because I produced like D quality work.
many days this project's taken, but we finally have plywood up, 100% electrical's done.
It took more than one day.
Definitely more than
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
It took a while. We're several days into this project. This is not a, I have one of these sitting in my backyard and my wife and I, we're gonna just do this in a weekend. This is not a long weekend project. Maybe a week, maybe a summer project if you have a whole week to work on it, but we have everything taped off and we have the paint mixed up and paint guns rigged up. And the boy here is gonna learn how to run a paint gun. So we'll see how that goes. Well, the puppy palace is done. Kind of, mostly. Nah, we'll see. So, we have electrical, hence this line of dirt. And that gray pipe, that is the actual buried electrical wire. So, no more extension cords temporarily wired into the panel. So, off of that far corner, I plan on having a company put in a chain link fence to the corner of the house. And then we'll go out into that other lot. That dead fence will get ripped out. And so just before that cedar tree will be the north side of the fence. So the theory is, what we're going for is, I want to be able to open up our door onto the deck, and we have a gate on the deck. I want to open up that door in the mornings and be able to let the dogs out. And depending on the weather, depending on the day, we can just leave them outside all day. And if they want to go inside, they can run all the way to this building where it'll be climate controlled. We'll have air conditioner during the heat of the summer and a heater during the cold parts of the winter. So I'm not a big fan of having dogs kicked out of the house. I'm a big fan of, if you have a dog, it's a house dog. Dogs are supposed to be part of your family. But with 5 dogs, that's a lot of dogs. And when grandma comes over, when friends come over, when guests come over, it's nice just to be able to kick them out. What we've done in the past is we just put them in the crates. I'm a big proponent of crate training your dogs. I think it's a great idea to crate train your dogs, and it's not a punishment. It's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with your dog being locked in the crate for a few hours here and there. But with the twins, as they get older, I want to be able to take them to Kansas City and go to the zoo. I want to be able to leave the house and be gone for 10, 12 hours at a time. So that's where this comes in. We can kick them outside. They can be outside all day long. They have access to water because there's an automatic water in the middle of that bush. You'll see it someday when I get that bush removed. But I want them to be able to have access to their water and be able to come and go from a climate controlled building as much as they want. So that's the plan for the future, is to have this to where the whole dog herd can come and go from this building all they want. And I will probably do a fence that goes from the south here in the yard to the north, right down the middle of that water. So for like right now, we have a litter of puppies on the ground. Now, we've had a couple of litters of puppies in the past at this house, and we've always had them in our utility closet. Oh. Hi, Windsor. What do you have to say? So the problem with the utility closet is that whole utility closet is about the size of this building. But it's got storage shelves in there. It has our deep freeze in there. It has our furnace in there. It has our water heater in there. So realistically, we're having these puppies in essentially the amount of space as you'd have in a normal hallway. So it's just not a lot of room. It's very tight. It sucks. But there's nothing wrong with it. And we have the puppies now in our puppy palace. So let's go in and see what the puppy palace looks like now that it's done. Hi, Piper. You being a good girl? You being a good mama? Hi, puppies. The reason I have this light switch and those outside lights on the exact same circuit as the air conditioner, this outlet down here for a space heater, that outlet on the wall, and that outlet on the wall for heat lamps. The reason they're all on the exact same circuit is so if there's ever an electrical issue, I can see that light outside from our kitchen window. So if that light is ever off, then that is a big red flag that, oh, we might not have power out here. It might be as simple as somebody turned the light switch off, but it might be as bad as the whole building has lost power. That light goes off, which tells me I need to come out here and investigate. Did we lose power to the building? If so, why? Did the breaker get tripped, or did somebody just turn off the light? Now, another feature we had is I put this light switch up here so I can run this cord here, because I actually have one of our 2 baby monitors out here. So from my bed, whether first thing in the morning, late at night, I can look at the baby monitor, and with the press of a button, I can see the twins' cribs, make sure they're okay, push a button, and I can see, basically, it's that view right there. I can see the puppies, I can see mama, I can make sure everybody's okay. We have the dog door for letting Piper in and out, and when we don't have a litter of puppies in here, this whelping box can be removed. I made it out of scrap materials. I would have liked to have made it out of 2x12s. But those little red dots, those are the screws that you have to remove to disassemble it. And then the 3 dots along the side, I can put the long pieces together and the short pieces together and put the screws back in those other red dots. So it can, basically it's just 2 big chunks of wood that I can store somewhere else. We can just close this panel right here. And I could kick the dogs out of the house, whether it's just for an hour or if we're going to go to Kansas City to go to the zoo with the kids as they get older, we can just lock the dogs out of the house. And they have that whole yard, an automatic water, and then they can come through that dog door, and we can lay 3 or 4 dog beds down in here, so they have a climate-controlled building, regardless if it's middle of winter or the middle of summer. So the outside light switch is here. These 2 light switches are for inside. This one is for the 4 lower lights. And then this far switch is for the lights up top. Now, I'm finding that I pretty much leave these lights on almost all the time. So usually it's like this. I have this switch off and those on. And I don't know, it seems to be working. So I have the 3 circuits here. One is for the lights, one is for the air conditioners, and then one is for a couple of miscellaneous outlets. And it's also for up top in the peaks that you can't see. I don't really have those packed in quite as tight as they look. But on the other side of all of that is a vent for, it's a bathroom vent. It's a vent you'd put in a bathroom. So it's just an exhaust vent. Because as the puppies get older, they tend to smell. And I don't want this place to stink too bad. So that's one of the things we're going to try to do is have those exhaust fans going. So hopefully that'll suck out a lot of the smell. So this is the paneling that we normally, you can buy this at like your big pet supplies on Amazon, but I think it comes in like 10 panels, so you can make an outside pin, just a great big oval. But I actually used it with these little clamps that you have to put conduits up, actual metal conduit. I have them in place, and I need to actually cut this one down so it'll fit in here versus going off at an angle. But that's what I'm using to subdivide the building. We're using an old outside carpet. This was on our deck all summer, but the girls have spilled so much Gatorade and milk on it, it was getting gross anyways, so it's time to think about throwing it away. We like to have carpet down for the puppies for about the first 3-4 weeks until they get to the point where Piper doesn't keep up with keeping them clean anymore. This is actually the second piece of carpet we've had in here for this litter, and they're only 2 weeks old. And then I have the other half of that carpet, or the other half of that rug is at there. So here probably another day or two, we'll throw this one away and I'll put that one in its place. As they get older, we'll be using newspaper instead. But then this floor, it's the cheapest linoleum floor we could find from our lumber yard. It's not actually glued down like you normally would. It's ran up the edges by a foot, and then those wooden strips, that's all that's holding it in place. So if the puppies or the dogs ever tear this up, it's going to be very easy to just take this out and put a new piece in and just tack it up the same way. Now, the reason I say that it's not 100% done is I still want to take oak, because I have a lot of rough sawn oak. I want to just plane it down, and I want to trim out the windows. Got 2 windows to trim out. These joints with the plywood was a little tricky to get done right, so we have just caulked all of the joints. But these 2 joints up here at this angle change, I'm really not happy with them. So I'm thinking I'll just take like a 2-inch strip of oak, maybe a 3-inch strip of oak. I don't know. We'll see what looks good. I'd like to trim that out in oak. I'd like to put an oak faceboard along the decking there to kind of face that out, clean that up a little bit. Probably gonna trim out this door as well. So for raising puppies, we have to have canned food, dog food for mama, dog food for puppies. Right now we're just using this card table. I would like to make this card table go away and then put up all the hooks again for my wife's halters and lead ropes for the horses. But to make this go away, what I'm thinking about doing is over in this corner, somewhere around this height, I want to have like a little built-in table or a workbench per se, maybe. So I can have the scale for the puppies out here. I can weigh them. We can write notes on it. And then I'd like a couple of shelves underneath for the canned dog food. And I'm thinking about doing a window bench seat here with a flip-up lid so we can put some plastic totes in here. That's where the dry dog food would be just in a little bench right here. Now, the reason I'm thinking a little bench is for the twins. I think the girls would enjoy being able to come out here. They can sit up here and they can see outside, or they can see into the puppy pen without actually being in the puppies. Because if we're actually birthing a litter of puppies out here, I don't think I want toddlers in with them. That seems like a bad idea. But they might enjoy being there and seeing what's going on and being out here with us during that time. So that's kind of where we're at. If you want to see a video on me building the bench and the trim and doing that, let me know and I'll make a part 3. Otherwise, we'll probably just, once we do the chain link fence, I'll do another video then, and we'll do a final puppy palace tour. But this was an amazing amount of work. I was surprised at how much work it took to truly insulate, run all the electrical, put the 2 windows in. I probably had, I'm going to say I had about 2 weeks of man hours put in here. I probably had 10 days worth of man hours put in it. I did have some help come up for, what were they here? I think they were here for 3 days. But what we found out was every single sheet of plywood, with the exception of 2, every sheet of plywood but 2 had to be cut. Whether it was for a light switch, an outlet, length, width, something needed to be cut. So it took so long and it was so tedious to cut all of these sheets of plywood. And then obviously we worked, but I didn't get much of the work on film. So sorry for not having as much content as I had planned. I planned on having more, but I got some. I think it's enough to, you got the gist of what went into this project. It was a lot of just tedious work, but I think it's worth it. I think it turned out so well. This is so much nicer than having the puppies down in our utility closet. So having a dedicated space now for the puppies, and then when puppies aren't in here, a dedicated space to where the dogs can be that's comfortable, I think is going to go a long ways out here. I think this is going to be very nice in the long run. So I'm Ben, here with the litter of puppies. If you're interested in a standard poodle, check out our other videos on the poodles. I think we have the ultrasound, the puppies being born, and their 2-week video up. And if you are interested in buying one, they are for sale. So, shoot us an email. And if you're seeing this video way in the future, well, shoot us an email anyways, and we'll probably let you know if we have another litter on the ground, or let you know when we're going to have another litter. But I'm Ben with MD Triple Creek. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like the subscribe. Pound that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. All that helps me out. So have a good one. Oh, you're a noisy puppy. Piper, why don't you come feed your puppies? Come here, Piper. Get in. Piper, come.